Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Booley. We're headed for the weekend and we have just the lineup for you. First up, Danilo will be chatting to Johannesburg's A-list celebrity dentist, Dr. Smile. He's here to tell us all about what makes him tick and some of the other works he gets up to. And then we have exceptional businesswoman Matsi Modise here to chat about how she's driving entrepreneurship in South Africa. We'll also be taking a look at pop-up art event happening in Johannesburg this weekend called Opening the Drawers. And for Winner Home and Afternoon Express, we chat to the CEO of Private Property, Simon Bray, about why a bathroom can be the feature selling point of your home. And as usual, I'm not alone. Jean is in the kitchen.
Thanks, Bunny. Now, there's only one other thing other than Dr. Smile, who puts a smile on my face, and that is desserts. I've actually just thrown out any kind of diet out of the window because Leanne Holt is with us in the kitchen today from Billy Boo Cakery, and we're going to be making profiteroles. Yep. I love a little profiterole in winter.
We're actually going to be doing a creme brulee profiterole, which is a mixture of the dessert creme brulee and a profiterole cream puff type eclair thing.
Amazing, and I'm actually going to learn how to make it. We're going to be making it right here on the show. You can bake with us too. All you need to do is visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and there you'll find the recipe and all of our shopping lists as well to make these glorious little bundles of joy today on this glorious Thursday afternoon. Right now, though, I think we've got the hottest dentist on the planet on the couch right now.
Oh, something is cooking in the kitchen. So as a qualified practicing dentist, he credits his influences to Justin Timberlake, Eminem, I think he's all... Wait, AKA? Wait, no. Those are his musical influences. He's also a musician too, by the name Lex Leo, and a break dancer and a skateboarder and a model. Oh, and he drives around in a mobile dentist unit that he uses to provide dental care to underprivileged communities. I think the only thing that this man hasn't already done is sign up for NASA and be the first South African on the moon. Joining us in the loft is Josie's celebrity dentist, Dr. Smile. Well, I know you as Lex Leo. How's it going, dude?
Thank you for having me.
First of all, congrats on the Masters. I think
Thank
that is...
God, it's done.
Oh,
it's done. Oh.
All of my friends who came out of varsity to do their Masters, probably the biggest procrastinators I've ever met in their lives. But it is a process. Officially, Dr. Smile.
Officially. It takes a lot out of you, but I'm so glad it's done. Next chapter.
Yeah, next chapter. Listen, I actually wanted to find out from you, why did you move the route into dentistry? Because my understanding was that you hated dentistry and it wasn't like the coolest thing to do for you. But through your experience with Doctors Without Borders at 19, something shifted in you.
So I never hated dentistry. I just actually didn't know what I wanted to do. Okay. And I finished high school. I was 17 and a half when I finished high school, and I wanted to do advertising, marketing, business, design, medicine, I don't know, all of these different things. And I really didn't know, so I took a gap year. And I went and did a year of volunteer work with Doctors of the World, Médecins du Monde, in Greece. Because majority of refugees, especially for Europe, come through Greece. And I spent that year working with prisoners of war and rape victims and drug addicts and prostitutes and people whose lives are just really difficult. And it really opened my eyes to a lot. And I worked with doctors and dentists and psychologists, and so dentistry sprung on me. And I was like, oh, I work with my hands. I like working with my hands, a lot of detail. And I was like, I can help a lot of people. South Africa needs a lot of dental care, primary health care. So let's try it out. And then I did.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Here you are with all of these multi-talents, and it's almost hard to conduct an interview with you because you don't know which facet of your life to engage with. Because
part 1, 2.
Yeah, part 1, part 2, part 3. But let's just quickly take it all the way back. I follow you on Twitter, and your Twitter status at the moment is, well, your description, your bio says Persian blood, African heart.
Persian blood,
Unpack that for me.
So my mother and father were born in Iran. My father left Iran when he was 15 and moved to Kenya. My mother to the UK. They eventually married and moved to South Africa. And they moved to South Africa for the purposes of serving humanity, bringing about unity. We know the history of our country. We know currently what it is. So because of the main teaching of the Baha'i faith, which is my religion, which emphasizes service and unity, that's really what they came for. And so we were born here, all the siblings. And so my heart is here. Yes, my blood is there, and I have some culture from that side, but I'm really African, you know, in my roots.
Okay. Well, let's talk a bit about your studies and the way that you got to the point that you are now. You call yourself also the celebrity dentist, and you've got all the A-listers. First of all, why am I not a client? But second of all...
Get to Joburg.
Yeah, why is the celebrities, why that sort of lifestyle element of dentistry?
You know what? I was very fortunate to stumble upon this. I was in modeling and entertainment industry for a while. And you know the social circles are very small, whether in Joburg, whether in Cape Town. So as soon as I graduated and I did my community service and I came back to Johannesburg to start private practice, it was a natural evolution of bringing my friends in to come and see me, right? And a lot of those friends were already in the industry. And so what it turned into, this little like embryonic idea suddenly developed because of the aid of social media and programs such as yourselves to be able to instill in kind of everyone's minds that, yes, now we do have a celebrity dentist, or this guy generally treats our celebrities and is trustworthy, and word of mouth. Word of mouth is really the most important thing. So I wouldn't get to where I am without you know, the help of those people who I've treated, who actually trust what I do. And so it just grew. But I don't just treat celebs, I treat everybody. It's just that,
hey,
you know,
but you're a specialist in that field. They know what you're looking for. They know what it takes to be a celebrity. You get their industry, you get what they're looking for from their mouths. But I don't want you to be shy about name dropping a few names, because I know I'm not there. Maybe I'm not A-list. Maybe you regard me as B-list. I'm kidding.
I'm waiting to work up to get to a point where I can
well, there you go. I like. Who are some of the names you work with?
I'm sure people that you know. I work with Bonang, aka Maps, Terry Peto, Pearl Tusi, Boy T. You know, there's a lot of people in TV and in the music industry, in radio, a lot of our radio presenters, a lot of our TV presenters, models, actors, actresses. It's generally that area because this is very cosmetic. You know, your mouth is so important. Your smile is so important, let alone the health of your mouth. Your smile is so valuable. You guys all know this on a medium such as this. And so, you know, just a little bit of cosmetic tweaking or adjusting or instilling confidence really changes a person's whole quality of life.
Absolutely.
Let alone taking their pain or redoing their whole mouth if they've lost their teeth. Or, you know, that's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be able to
it brings you an intrinsic confidence, which I think is awesome. And the one thing also about smiles is it's also very close to your heart. This is why you call it Dr. Smile. And tell me about the campaign you're doing with schools, because you mentioned a few times in this interview, and I'm proud of you for saying it, that you're very excited about, you know, serving and giving back to people, even though you are a businessman and it's cutthroat and you work with celebs. There's a large
you know, I
part
think we speak in our country a lot. This term has been used, privileged, right? And we are all privileged to some degree. The poorest person is still privileged over someone who's the poorest and, I don't know, has lost a limb, or whatever, however we want to look at it. And so my understanding is whatever we've been given, especially materially, if we don't use that to be able to help others around us, we are wasting it. We're wasting why we've even been given. You don't have to magically just give it all away, but you have to use it to uplift those around you. And so it's natural that, yes, on one side, I do... I mean, honestly, one of the most evolved practices in Africa. We have the latest technology from around the world. On the other side, I work and lecture at Wits University, government hospital, government patients. And on the other side, I do volunteer dentistry for communities that don't even have access to clinics or can't even get to a government institution. And the point is, we live in a country that has the largest extremes of wealth and poverty, really, around the world.
Our Gini coefficient, I think, is one of the largest in the world.
Right, and so we need to do something about that, those of us who can. And so this whole Dr. Smile, Super Smile School campaign was really started. I started it on my year of community service after I graduated, because that's the only when I had the license to. And it was about going to communities, and it started by just educating, going around giving free education, basic things. Don't eat this, do eat this, don't brush like this, do brush like basic things, right? And then it started as I'm actually able to now start treating and helping and bringing people in. And so it's evolved into something which is a lot more focused on education. Because especially parents, if they just know what to do and what not to do with their children from when the first tooth comes out, a lot of stuff will be avoided.
Said, when you know better, you do better.
Correct. And so education, there's this beautiful quote that is from the Baha'i writings, and it says, regard mankind as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. And it says, education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable mankind to benefit therefrom. Which is something like if we understand how valuable education is, all of the potentialities which humanity possesses can suddenly come out and benefit everyone.
What fruit has this campaign seen? What have you seen brought to communities?
In one word, smiles, you know, but happiness, pain alleviation, confidence, the ability to eat. You know, we don't understand that, okay, if one little child is sick and they need to go to the doctor or the dentist or whatever, their poor mother, generally in those situations, single mothers have to take a day off work, which they cannot, to take their child. It's impossible. It's like, has such a, terrible repercussions.
Yeah.
So, you know, just if you can intervene in a little bit and educate and give out samples and hampers and bring happiness, it's just one way to bring happiness. Yeah. Your guys' show always brings happiness to the viewers because you're showing them things or people or whatever that they haven't seen or that brings them joy, and that's what we all should be about, right?
Sure, man, I love this so much because what I really love about your story is that you're a big name, you're ambitious, you're out there, you are creating things, but at the same time you've got the biggest heart at the same time, and I think all of our media personalities and artists need to learn the same lesson. So thanks for all that you do for our country.
Thank you.
So we're all about celebrating the exceptional on Afternoon Express today. So from one exceptional man to an exceptional woman.
After the break, it's time to share another moment with Five Roses. South Africa's favourite tea is expertly blended to ensure that it remains of the highest quality consistently. It's this commitment to excellence that Five Roses puts into making the perfect cup of tea, which delivers its uniquely superior and distinctive taste. Five Roses salutes South African women who too are committed to excellence. So today we're chatting with entrepreneurship activist Matsi Modise, one of the brightest brains in the business, committed to growing entrepreneurship in South Africa. She's joining us for a cup of Five Roses pure premium rooibos, created using only the finest leaves from the rooibos plant for a perfectly smooth and delicate taste. There's also rooibos with honey flavour or rooibos with chamomile. So don't go away. We'll be back after the break with Matsi Modise and Five Roses right here in the loft.
Five Roses blends only the top 2 leaves of the finest Ceylon teas, because nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. If you've just joined us, good timing, because we're about to get started in the kitchen making some delicious profiteroles. Now, what is the difference between a profiterole and a chocolate eclair?
Okay, so basically it's made with the same pastry.
Yeah.
A profiterole is a cream puff. It's also known as a cream puff, and it's piped into a round ball. Yeah. And an eclair is piped into an elongated sausage shape.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So how do we make these amazing cream puffs?
Okay, so let's go over here. In our pot, we've got water, butter, salt, and a little bit of sugar.
Great.
To bring out the flavors.
Yeah.
We're going to add some flour to that. And we've got to mix it all together until it pulls away from the pot.
That smells so good. Hot butter. The smell of hot butter is delish.
Just on fire. Okay, so it pulls away from the pot.
Don't shut yourself alight.
And once it pulls away from the pot just like that, you take it off the heat.
Yeah.
And then we need to pop it into the mixer.
So take it off.
You can switch it. We can switch it off the heat, yeah.
And then in the mixer.
Okay, so this pot is hot, so I'll pop it in there.
Yeah, you better handle it then.
And then it's a bit awkward.
I know. Do you want me to do that and you can hold the pot?
That's okay.
There you go.
We're done.
Well, you know what you're doing.
We're done.
You own a bakery.
Okay.
Whatever, cakery.
Okay, what we do now is we've got to add the sugar a little bit at a time.
Okay, do you want me to do that for you?
The sugar, the eggs.
Eggs, okay. Dude, you're making me nervous. There's eggs all over the place. Okay, these eggs.
A little bit at a time until it's completely incorporated.
Okay.
Okay, stop. Okay, and it will add the rest of them.
This looks like a complicated recipe.
It's not too complicated once you get the hang of it.
It still smells really good. Oh, the smell of hot butter, it's delicious. Now I'm just craving popcorn. Does that ever happen to you when you smell something and then it's...
It happens on a daily basis.
Okay, so you don't want more eggs? No?
Once the eggs are combined with the mixture, we're going to place it into a piping bag.
All right, as you've already done here.
As we've already got prepared for the show.
Okay.
And then we're going to pipe the rounds for the profiteroles.
How big should you make them?
So you can make them as big as you want or as small as you want.
Can I try that?
Absolutely.
It looks really good. Okay. And then...
Okay. Not so easy.
It's not so easy.
Keep your piping bag as close to the... There we go. Stop piping and pull away. Okay, I'll show you a trick once we finish with those. Or while you're piping, I'll actually show you exactly. So a little trick for situations like that. A spoon and a bowl of water. You just wet the back of the spoon and you press the profiterole down.
Okay. Yeah, can you fix that one?
That one? I don't know. I think it's a bit of a lost cause.
Yeah, I think so as well. Sorry, sozzles. Okay, this is actually quite fun.
Oops.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
Then what?
So what you've done is a great job of piping them that far away from each other, because when you pop them in the oven, they're going to puff up quite nicely and go nice and golden brown. And they need the space to rise.
Okay, so then what is the filling? Because, I mean, that looks done.
So, yeah.
They're going to be amazing.
So these go into the oven at 200 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes until they're puffed up and golden and delicious to look at.
Amazing. So now we're not putting cream or chocolate in, which is the traditional route. What are we putting in them?
We're putting in a crème pâtissière, which is a thickened custard. And what's really nice about that is that you can flavour it with coffee, which is what we've done today.
Amazing.
Or you can use lemon, or you can use caramel, or you can do whatever you want with it. That's the beauty
Should
of
we
a
get started
profiterole.
with that?
We can. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is keep the stove on. You can move this little pot out the way. And in here we've got milk, we've got the coffee, we've got cream, a little bit of sugar.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do now is...
Just put me working in the kitchen.
Put these eggs into this bowl.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then you're going to add this salati caster sugar.
Caster, is it? No, not that one.
It's
This
inside
one.
there.
Okay. There
And
you
you're going
go.
to whisk it together.
Okay. For how? Oh,
Just whisk it until it's nice and thick, or until it's all incorporated.
Okay. Got
Then
it?
we're going to sieve in the corn flour, so we can go ahead with that now. Through the sieve.
Okay. Why?
If
What's
you
the
don't,
difference?
it's going to end up with lumps, and you're going to end up
no,
with
we don't
lumpy
want that.
custard, which is a no-no. Nobody wants to eat lumpy custard.
Good thing I've seen this on commercials. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do.
Okay, once
There you
that's
go.
all whisked, once that's all sieved in, you're going to whisk it all together again.
Okay, I wasn't supposed to do it piece by piece. Is this right?
No, that's fine. What you've done is perfect. I'm just going to turn this down.
Sure, you need a lot of patience in a kitchen like this.
Okay, that's good. Leave those
Okay.
little crumbs out.
And then more whisking.
Whisk that all together.
Okay.
Okay, and then what the next step that we're going to do is something called tempering.
What is tempering? I mean, I've got a
Tempering-
great temper.
We've got to get that egg yolk mixture to the same temperature as this before we put it back in the pot to stir.
Oh,
it.
wow. Yeah, that's your job.
Okay, so
I don't know if I'd be able to handle that.
I'm just going to pop
How do
this
you
bowl over
test if
here.
it's the right temperature?
It's basically just getting the yolks incorporated nicely, so with the temperature of this cream. So we add
must
a
I
little
whisk
bit.
while you're
Yeah,
doing that?
Whisk
Okay.
it. So by doing this, we prevent the eggs from overcooking.
Okay.
Okay, and then
So that we don't get scrambled eggs, I suppose.
exactly that.
And then what happens next?
This goes back into the pot.
Yeah.
Okay, you can put it back in now.
Go for it.
And then we whisk until it's thick and creamy and delicious.
And then is that it?
And
Then
that's
that
the
goes into our
custard.
profiteroles.
That, it needs to set in the fridge, so we continuously stir on a mild heat until it's thickened up. And then
can't
it sets in the fridge, and then,
So
after
they'll
that-
be ready for us to eat.
They
just
will,
now.
definitely.
Okay,
Yeah,
amazing.
definitely
Now,
be
if
ready.
you're an art lover, you may recognize renowned local artists like William Kentridge, Diane Victor, and Deborah Bell. And one thing all of these names have in common is that they've all collaborated with the South African art institution, David Kroot Projects. Now, coming up this weekend in Johannesburg is an event put on by David Kroot Projects that is certainly not to be missed. Check this out.
David Kroot Projects is an independent arts resource active in Johannesburg, Cape Town and New York, which encourages careers and collaboration in visual and other creative arts.
David Kroot Projects showcases a print workshop where we collaborate with artists to make unique works on paper. We have arts-dedicated bookstores. We are art book publishers, as well as project spaces. So rather than a gallery per se, what we like to do is to work directly with artists to focus on developing their career by allowing them to do exhibitions as well as to create work in the print workshop.
On Saturday, June 25th, David Kroot Projects will host a pop-up event called Opening the Drawers, where buyers can purchase from a huge range of artwork while enjoying live music and good food.
The idea behind having a pop-up at this time is actually to showcase the variety of works by both emerging and established South African artists as well as international artists. On the day, what we are hoping to achieve is to provide an open atmosphere for people to feel comfortable to come in and to see all of this art on display. We will be present on the day to answer any and all questions, as well as will a handful of artists that we've worked with.
The work that I'm making at the moment is centered around the idea of climate change and climate change denial. I usually work in oil paint, so oil on canvas. A very nice aspect of being an artist at David Crit is that you have the printmaking workshop as a facility. And so the works that you're seeing are various kinds of etchings. It really is quite wonderful to have that variety. A conversation kind of opens up between the printmaking and the painting.
The inspiration behind my work is informed by my upbringing. I was brought up in a rural area, so there's lots of cultural practices and ceremonies, and also the environment itself, inspired my worldview, the way I look at the world. I use water-based mediums, watercolors and inks. I think I like to use that because, the medium is very spontaneous and it captures the fleeting moment that I have, the idea before it disappears in my head.
The titles respectively are Gap in the Canopy and In the Canopy. Canopy referring to the canopy of a forest, that through light and the play of shadow and so forth, you spend more time exploring the environment and things appear, disappear. They camouflage by dappled light, by the tree trunks, all that kind of thing. So the prints are a reversal of one another. They're wood blocks and they printed black on silver and silver on black. So when you stand back and look at the two prints side by side, it's kind of like an optical game. What am I seeing? And what does the title mean? What does it prompt me to look at?
My inspiration, it usually comes from real life, pressure of life, challenges that youth face all the time, every day, especially coming from rural areas to Joburg. I work on a medium called printmaking. The technique that I really enjoy is called lino, and then it also bold. So I love an artwork that really push a strong statement.
The ability to not have to go into a gallery, but go into a pop-up shop situation to experience the work, and specifically to have an interaction with the makers of the work or the artists themselves, bridges the gap of understanding, because art is a very abstract thing and people very quickly become intimidated. It's really about just breaking the barriers down and saying it's not that difficult.
I think it allows my work to be accessible to everybody on the street, because then usually I show in a gallery space and it's unreachable to a lot of people. It seems to be elitist in a way, but then the pop-up shop will allow everybody from all walks of life to come and see the work.
You can pick up a piece of art and you can imagine it being in your home or in your space and really owning it and being able to meet the artist in situ and chat to them about the work.
We love the idea that you can come, sit, look through the work, have people to answer any questions you might have, anywhere from what an edition is, to what an etching is, to a lino cut, or what the work might be about. This is an open invitation to anyone who might be at all interested in seeing into an artist's practice.
So, bring the whole family and experience the life of an artist up close and personal this Saturday at the Parktown School for Girls in Johannesburg, or at the very least, share a laugh and a drink with a good friend. You can own a piece of the glamorous M collection designed by Johan Kutsia by showing your style on Twitter. Tweet a pic of yourself eating a Magnum to @MagnumSA using #MCollection. You'll receive a link which guides you through the steps to create an ensemble from the collection and get a collage photo of the complete look. Retweet the photo using #MagnumLookbook and you could win your chosen M collection dress. T's and C's apply.
Welcome back. We're live on 3, and it's time for Win a Home on Afternoon Express, where we follow 3 talented young designers as they transform 3 empty properties at Valdevie Estate into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Now, one of the challenges our designers were given is to incorporate the use of Caesarstone into their designs. Well, Joanne took up the challenge while creating a unique bespoke basin vanity with the help from Cape Town-based design furniture design studio Crib Creations.
I was looking around at basins and I couldn't find anything that I really liked that you could buy off of the floor or somewhere in shops. So I've always wanted to design my own bespoke pieces, and when this opportunity came along, I designed this beautiful concrete-looking basin that's very modern and angular. I've always wanted to design a vanity like this because I haven't seen anything like it in South Africa. I think it's quite trending in the rest of the world. So this was my chance to make it happen and see it in real life. I chose Caesarstone because it's durable and waterproof. It can be made into any form. So in this particular instance, we used the 13 millimeters because it can be cut into my specific dimensions that I designed for this vanity.
Joanne came to us with the idea for some lovely Caesarstone basins, and she asked us to design a vanity that would complement that. She provided some lovely references with oak veneer panels, which we incorporated into the drawer front design. Joanne has been great. She's very open to all the suggestions that we've had for her. She was able to provide us with some excellent reference material, so that made our job very easy. There's a level of openness to innovation there, rather, I should say. There's a willingness to embrace new ideas and innovative construction techniques and newer materials that an older, more established designer might shy away from.
I chose to collaborate with Crib Creations because they responded to me on a Facebook page. I was looking for someone to work with on a vanity, and they messaged me and asked me what my specifics were. And I sent them my designs, they really loved it, so they came up with a beautiful oak vanity underneath my basin.
We're a young creative bunch here, so we enjoy taking risks and taking on things that others might not. We enjoy working with combinations of different materials, taking advantage of the unique characteristics of each material and really letting them shine. It's really interesting being a local designer. I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. Cape Town is quite a creative hub since the Design Capital 2014. There's been a lot of buzz around, especially locally produced stuff. There's a lot of interesting work available out there for people willing to put themselves out there.
Crib Creations are local designers that have international quality. They are quick and responsive, and they have made beautiful designs throughout South Africa.
Joanne approached us with the idea for some lovely Caesarstone basins and provided some references for us to design a vanity that would complement it. We used oak veneer on the drawer fronts and lovely folkestone grey melamine internals to match the grey basins to create a harmonious look that I hope Joanne will be happy with.
I feel very excited that I designed it and it's there. It was my first time attempting something like this, and I think it looks amazing.
Well, it just goes to show that a beautiful bathroom can really add so much to a property. How much can it truly add from a saleability perspective? Danilo's on the couch to tell us.
Selling a home means taking a whole range of different factors into consideration, from the additional room to knowing how to style the pictures you use when selling online, making it presentable and purchase ready. Our Win a Home contestants are currently working on the bathroom in their beautiful apartments on Valdevie. This is a room in the house that can so easily go wrong, and the first thing people want to change about a house when they go and buy a new one. This afternoon, we have Win a Home judge and CEO of Private Property, Simon Bray, in the loft to tell us how to approach selling a home, and specifically the bathroom. And I'm pretty sure that everyone's an expert on the bathroom because we spend a lot of time there. But when I was initially looking out at the property scene and went to go and visit all the properties as you went along, one of the first things I loved going to go do was check out the bathroom, because it is such a versatile space and it's exciting because you always want a bathroom that's so unique. Why do people do that?
On private property, the bathroom is one of the most observed rooms in the house. When you look at the galleries and what people view and what they spend their time looking at, the bathrooms are always the most interesting piece. And I think, it makes sense. The best way to gauge the condition of a home is often through the bathroom. The fixtures, the fittings, the design. You can get a sense really quickly on whether this is a well-kept home or a poorly kept home. So I think a lot of people build an impression or build an idea of condition of the rest of the home based on the grime between the tiles in the bathroom.
Yes.
And so a lot of people don't spend enough time preparing the bathroom space, particularly when they're going to sell. But I think another reason is fairly obvious. You know, you walk into a lounge, you walk into a dining room, and you can imagine your own furniture in that space. Yes. You can move things around, you can put a new painting on the wall, you can do something different. But when it comes to the bathroom, it's all fixtures. So unless you like what's been done, you're going to have to gut it and redo it, and that can be a costly exercise.
Yeah. And also, it's one of those spaces that you want to be kind of creative. You want to feel like your bathroom is so unique when guests come over, or it is your bathroom potentially. You want to make sure that it's a space that's exciting and creative to be in. So you mentioned this idea of selling that bathroom. Yeah. How do we go about making sure that our bathroom is ready to sell? And what are some of the mistakes that people make when doing that?
Oh, there's some tremendous mistakes people make when they come to selling their property. Some of the worst photos we've ever had on private property, if we had a wall of shame, it would be bathroom pictures. Okay. You know? Yeah, simple things like not putting the toilet seat down when they take a photo of the bathroom. It's those kinds of, you know, tacky mistakes to really bad ones, like not making sure that it's a clean space. I think that's one of the things. It's a little bit like a hotel room. What are the two things you're going to look for? Clean sheets and fresh towels and, you know, good smell in the bathroom. And I think that's important when you're talking about the bathroom, is it should be really clean, clean, clean. So spend the time making it look, doesn't matter what the fixtures and the fittings are doing, just make sure it's all spick and span.
Sure. Okay, that's really good advice. I think one of the things that contestants are looking at the moment is the bathroom, obviously, and they're wanting to get all the elements put together, because not in any gross way, but the bathroom must be tranquil. It must be a space that you feel comfortable in. It must be functional too, so obviously you don't want any leaks coming out or weird designs that has water running into funny places. And it must be beautifully designed too. What advice do you have for our design contestants who are busy working on them now to make sure that the bathroom is all three of those?
Well, this is really an exercise in form follows function. The bathroom, first and foremost, has to be a functional space. You've got to understand what the daily routine is going to be like. Do you need 2 vanities? Do you need a walk-in shower? Is a bath something that you're going to need in this bathroom? So just figure out that daily routine. Make sure that everything is placed in the right places. You spoke about it being a retreat, a sanctuary, so, you know, a personal space. And I think the design is going to have to communicate that. It's going to have to feel inviting. It's going to have to feel like a comfortable space to be in. But
sometimes it can be a stressful experience being in there, okay? You want it as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, no, I won't get into the details of that. But of course, you know, you want to walk in there and you want to feel like it's a great space to be in. And a lot of that has to do with where everything is laid out and the way the finishes interact with one another. So it's going to be an interesting challenge. I don't think a bathroom is as we started off saying in this interview, a space that should be overlooked.
Definitely
I think definitely something that they should spend time on and understand perfectly.
Yeah, I hope everyone at home is watching very, very closely, because I'm so excited to have you here. You mentioned a few things about investments and buying houses and selling property that has been absolutely like pivotal to what people should be looking forward to when they're selling a house. And last time we spoke, you were mentioning the idea of adding an extra room to the house, like really increasing the chances of a property being sold. But what about a second bathroom or 2.5 bathrooms? How does that affect the sale of a property? Does it make it more investment ready?
You know, the interesting thing with a bathroom is it is a very private space, right? Yeah. So if you've got a home that you intend entertaining in a lot, then you have to think about this idea of a guest loo or that half a bathroom that we see on the website. You know, 2.5 bathrooms. I don't quite
what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. But absolutely, a guest bathroom in particular can elevate the value of a property because your guests feel like it's a private space for them. And I think that can be very important when you're looking at it. It's not traipsing your guests through your master suite to your bathroom, but having a personal space for them as well. So that can certainly add value.
I've been to people's houses where there is no guest bathroom, and you sometimes have to walk into the master bathroom.
It feels a bit awkward,
like,
doesn't it?
It's like, like, this is your soap. This is.
Let me just move your toothbrush.
And, across slightly.
Exactly.
But when it comes to maybe building a new home or you're setting yourself up for a new property, I mean, how much of a bathroom should you keep in mind? Because first of all, cost is really expensive. It costs a lot of money to build a house, and maybe you're thinking future value when you're wanting to sell the property. Does keeping bathrooms in consideration and in your back of your mind add enough value to a property for the future value of its sale?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, most people move on in a property between 5 and 7 years. So you're going to look to put your property on the market even though you don't think so. You know, you move in, you're in love, this is the best property ever, we're going to stay here forever. But the truth is, 7 years' time, you're going to be looking for a new property. So if you do upgrade the bathrooms and you're looking to do something, a great renovation or something, you need to think about what it's going to look like in 5 to 7 years' time. So pick quality finishes that are going to last, taps, showers, bars that are going to last. And have a timeless element to the design. Don't just jump on the latest trend and then you regret it 3 years from now and you're doing it all over again.
Yeah, like where your bathroom and your shower have no different walls or doors in between them and you think, oh, this is a great idea, and then you realize what happens in that room. Simon, it's always an honor speaking to you, and I really enjoy taking all the pearls of wisdom when it comes to selling a property. It's made me kind of nervous.
I think the contestants are going to have to be very aware of this challenge. I think a big difference between the apartments is going to be how these bathrooms turn out, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Simon. So don't underestimate the power of a beautiful bathroom when it comes to selling your home. Head over to privateproperty.co.za where you will find the perfect home in the neighborhood that you love. While logging on, why not enter the Winner Home competition and stand a chance to win a home on Val de Vie.
Now, remember that this week on privateproperty.co.za, we want to know, what is your favourite design contestant's bathroom? By casting your vote, you stand a chance of winning paint from Plascon to the value of 5,000 Rand. You'll also automatically be placed into the grand prize draw, where you could win one of those completed apartments at Val de Vie worth more than 3 million Rand. Winner Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Our next guest is reshaping the enterprise development industry one startup at a time. Former National Executive Director of the South African Black Entrepreneurs Forum, current Managing Director of Matsi Modise, and founding CEO of Furaha Africa Holdings, Ms. Matsi Modise is a leading voice on entrepreneurship in our country, and we're so honoured to have her here with us today. Welcome to the Live.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
My favorite topic, entrepreneurship. How great is our need for entrepreneurs in Africa and South Africa?
Well, basically, entrepreneurs are people that are going to move the economy. If you look at what's happening, the economy has globally declined. You know, all the big industries are shedding jobs. So who is going to create the jobs? Who are going to be the people that are going to be innovative? So entrepreneurs play a critical role in our society globally and also in South Africa.
What big challenges do startups typically face when entering the industry?
Normally you find the big F word in this space, which is funding.
Yeah.
So access to funding tends to be a challenge. I think entrepreneurs need to understand at what stage can you actually get funding. In South Africa, there's little venture capital. So you're not going to find a lot of people that are going to seed your idea, like give you startup capital.
Yeah.
It's either you depend on friends, fools of family. So normally that's kind of the trend. Access to a market, you know, you really need to ensure that you have a consistent market. You need to know if it's a seasonal market. So really do your research when it comes to who is actually going to buy my product.
Yeah.
And then I suppose social capital, that's basically, you know, people that are going to support you. So your mentors who can open doors. So basically I would say those are my top three, you know, challenges that, you know, entrepreneurs tend to have as a startup.
Yeah. Your own company, Furaha Africa Holdings.
Yes.
How do you facilitate the development and growth of entrepreneurs in South Africa?
Sure. So Furaha is a Swahili word for happy. So Furaha Africa Holdings is, you know, a company I founded, and basically it has a Pan-African view. So, you know, entrepreneurship development is not a very difficult thing. You know, it has to be systemized, it has to be within an ecosystem. So in South Africa, there are a lot of public and private sector organizations that actually want to support small businesses, but we are not coordinated. So, you know, the role that we play is we identify the opportunity. For example, I did a project for one of my clients in Rwanda 2 weeks ago, and basically it's around the Sustainable Development Goals of the continent, and how do you get, you know, young people and business to work together towards achieving this. So basically the process would be identifying the right people to have that conversation, but it needs to go beyond just talking about it.
Yes.
It's identifying key stakeholders that will ensure that now we actually action these sustainable development goals.
Yeah. And last year you were appointed Managing Director of Matsi Modise. How does Matsi Modise as a company help structure new businesses?
Brilliant. So Matsi Modise is an industry association for entrepreneurs and led by entrepreneurs. You know, I have a wonderful team of amazing people that are doing different things to help and support small businesses. So as an industry association, our focus is how do we become the golden thread that connects the entrepreneurship ecosystem, because you've got funders, you've got mentors, you've got incubators, you've got accelerators. They're all operating in silos. So then if everybody's operating in their own silos, it's difficult for us to see the impact. So our industry association basically coordinates the space and creating a community of entrepreneurs in South Africa, whereby, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, it's a very lonely road. It's important to know that, you know, you've got a big brother or big sister that's basically looking after you from a policy regulation perspective, advocating for entrepreneurship, but also essentially promoting the growth of venture capital. Because right now that's what's missing in the space.
What more needs to be done just, you know, globally and just as a country to encourage entrepreneurship and innovation amongst young people?
Well, I would say that, you know, people need to see it as an investment opportunity, because a lot of the times when, you know, entrepreneurs come and ask for help, people would think that it's a CSI project. It's not. It's a socioeconomic imperative, and people need to see it as, I need to support this young girl or this young man because they are going to create jobs. Not, oh, shame, you know, let's help them. But you need to see it as you're investing into the bigger picture. So we need to support, we need to promote. If a young cousin of yours comes and say, I need 10,000 rands to, you know, start this business, get very excited. And if you can provide that kind of small capital, which we would call you an angel investor, do it. It doesn't have to cost you millions to actually invest in seeding ideas. So do your part. Mentor small businesses. I mean, you are in the entertainment industry. So for somebody who wants to start a small business in the space, why don't you kind of share your learnings and share your experiences so we can all play a role? It doesn't have to be a big thing to actually support entrepreneurs.
Well, absolutely. What are the qualities that a successful entrepreneur needs to have?
You need to be very brave. You know, you need to be convinced that this is the idea, because the times get very challenging. You know, when the bank manager calls you because you haven't paid them your car, you know, installments for the past 3 months, you need to have an answer for that. You know, and you need to kind of be convinced that this is an idea that's going to work. But also, I think you have to be realistic. You know, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Your idea is not necessarily going to be the next Facebook or Uber. So you have to be willing to basically go back to the drawing board and then pivot again and try it again and try it this way and try it that way. So you really also need to be willing to listen. A lot of entrepreneurs, as much as they're convinced that this is the idea, listen to those who've traveled that journey, because there's a lot of wisdom. You know, they've burned their fingers. So be open to criticism. Be open to listen to what your market is saying, because at the end of the day, you're serving a market. You're not serving yourself and your own interests and needs.
You run your own successful company and you sit on numerous boards that encourage development in this area in South Africa. What advice do you have for young business owners?
Well, I think young business owners need to really believe that now is the time to actually start a small business. Now it's the time to see entrepreneurship as a career, instead of, you know, you go through university and then you pass, and then now you're going into the work market, and then you're struggling, you're walking around with your CV, and then you decide to be an entrepreneur. It should essentially be something you want to be from the onset. And it's something that we need to start harnessing and nurturing in young children, so that they're like, I want to be an entrepreneur. As much as it's risky, they need to know that there's a huge responsibility. Our country definitely needs more entrepreneurs, you know, people that are going to be job creators, not job seekers. It's not cool to be carrying around your CV and being a job seeker.
Thank you so much, Matsi, for inspiring us today.
It's an absolute pleasure.
So expert insight from entrepreneurship activist Matsi Modise, who's dedicated not only to the development of existing businesses, but transforming the industry to encourage and support the next generation. Much like Five Roses is committed to bringing you a range of superior tasting and refreshing teas, while equally maintaining their heritage of quality blends. We're giving away a fabulous Five Roses gift pack containing an assortment of their delicious teas. To stand a chance to win, simply SMS the keyword Five Roses, your name and city, to 33728. SMSs are charged at R1.50 and T's and C's do apply. So visit our website afternoonexpress.co.za for the details. Join us again this time next week when we'll be chatting to another exceptional South African woman. And until then, remember that nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and I have a weapon in my hand and I'm about to
Use
Make
it.
some fire. Okay, so we're going to stuff our little profiteroles now.
We're going to fill our profiterole.
How did you make that little hole? Just a little knife?
So a little slit in the bottom once they're baked. Then you dip it in there, dip it in the sugar.
Great. No
lots
problem,
and lots of sugar. And then you use your blowtorch.
Okay. Step away from the TV presenter. Okay, well, I expect a little bit more power.
Yeah.
I need the heavy-duty one if I'm going to blow stuff up. Or like blow a profiterole
So the sugar melts off nicely and it develops that hard crack that you find in the creme brulee.
This is just sensational.
Incredible.
This one's probably going to taste like a...
I think I'd just have fun making it.
It is fun.
Yeah, there you go. And now I'm going to make these ones.
I'm going to taste one of these ready-made ones.
Oh, can I turn it up?
Yeah, other way. That way. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I like. A little bit more action.
Perfect.
How is it?
Perfection.
Delicious. Love it. These are great. It wasn't actually that hard.
Yeah, it's a coffee custard.
Yeah, coffee custard. Thank you so much for coming and teaching me how to make these gorgeous little rolls. There you have it. Woohoo! And of course, we're going to be back again tomorrow. It's Friday. Until then, have a lovely evening. Happy eating. Ciao. I'm going now.
The hottest address on TV is Winner Home on Afternoon Express. Proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.